I'm Cheryl Lane, and I'm a visual arts specialist at Smyrna Elementary School in Cobb County. And I'm going to show you an experiment that's a kindergarten level experiment, and it is going to do some paper marbling that is similar to a Japanese technique that came about in about the 10th century, and it was called suminagashi. Suminagashi means floating ink. So what the Japanese would do is they would take a shallow pan of water, and they would drip some oil-based ink on top so that it floated, and then they would draw designs in it, and then they would lay paper on top. So this demonstrates how the oil is lighter than water, so that it floated on top. But later on in the 14th century, the Turkish came up with their own idea of something similar. It starts with a pan of water that has carginin mixed in with it, and that thickens it so that the water is heavier, and so a water-based acrylic paint will float on top of it. So that's what we're going to do. And I've already experimented with it a little bit, but I've got some carrageenan right here. And all you have to do is take about a half teaspoon of carrageenan, and you want to mix it in to a cup of water, and can put it in there and mix it up. And I've got a whisk to mix it with. But the thing that happens is that this does not readily mix. And so at first it looks very concerning because it has a lot of clumps. And the clumps look like they're not going to come out. But actually what you have to do is you have to leave this clumpy mixture alone for about 4 to 6 hours, and then it all dissolves. It doesn't look like it would, but it does. This is one that I did about 6 hours ago, and it's nice and clear, so it's ready. And we're going to pour it into a shallow pan, and we'll pour that mixture into the pan. And once it's all poured in, then we'll be ready to add our acrylic paint in this on top of that. So I'm going to shift down. Oh, and by the way, this is a physical science standard. It's SKP1. Obtain and evaluate and communicate information to describe objects in terms of the materials they're made of and their physical attributes. Then plan and carry out an investigation to predict and observe whether objects based on their physical attributes will sink or float. So I'm going to tilt the camera down now so you can see this pan, and I'm going to add some acrylic paints. So you can just have some fun with it, and I'm just going to add some bits of paint like this. And then I'm going to add some other colors. We'll start with blue and add some red. And after that, we'll add some other details with some yellow. And maybe a little green. Okay, and then you can take any stylus, like I've got a stylus, but you could really use just about anything, and you can like a toothpick or something like that, and you can make a design. I'm just going to go back and forth in this. This is one of the Turkish ways of doing it, and they just would go back and forth in one direction, and then they would go back and forth in the other. So the kindergartners learn in art about lines and shapes, and so we'll be talking about lines and shapes for our art standards when we look at that. So I love this design, actually. I think it's really pretty the way it is. And so what we need to do after that is just get a piece of paper, and we can lay the paper right on top of our design. So we've got our design, just lay the paper right on top. Don't want to get any air bubbles in there, so you don't. It's better to use a paper that's not too thick, so that you're able to lay it down completely. So let me see if I can pick it up from the edge here. And then I'm going to just bring it toward me, about a 45-degree angle, and turn it over. Oh, I love that design. That's so pretty. So now we've got this beautiful design. You can just put it to the side, and you have a beautiful artwork to go along with your science experiment. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll try mixing your water with carrageenan and dripping acrylic paint on top.